It's because I'm gonna repeat it 1.5 million times before we're done this year. Beat the meta, not be the meta. It's because they know how to understand what they want to do with their own game plan, their own lines of play, to beat what is expected. How do I win by turn 6 against a Daria deck that's planning to explode by turn 6? Like, how do I beat different decks on different turns that I need to?
Yeah.
And I feel like they are two of the best players in the world at understanding how to do that.
Well, I can't wait to see the moment in time where Akamar, Red, and Jay-Z make their fantastic return.
Yes.
If that happens.
Yes,
But
yes. I can't imagine we've seen the last of them. We've got an entire year of Shadowverse ahead of us. You know, it'd be sad if we don't see them.
They're taking a vacation. Second and third in the World Grand Prix.
Yeah, they've made enough money already. They got to give some other people some chances.
They're going to come back and DreamHack.
Yeah.
And just win.
All right, so we get to see a mid-shadow matchup again. Both Runecraft lists banned out. No surprise. Daria being the big boogeyman since Dragoncraft is not present today.
Very good. All right. Going second is Fantasy. And like we've seen so many times in this matchup, going second and going first, they can pay off in different ways here. So it's not necessarily one or the other has the advantage.
I find it interesting that he chose to lead with the Andrialphus instead of the Lurching Corpse. That almost forces him to use that zombie party here, whereas he might not have wanted to use it otherwise. He doesn't really have a lot of options in hand. And it's a long time before that Evolution Orb is going to pop up for that Andrialphus to get value here.
All right. Well, experience looking at this tells me that Skull Ring into Catacomb seems very good, but the Andrialphus can take down one of those cards, which makes it feel less good.
Yeah, I think Goblin Mage is a pretty good option for this turn. It could set up a nice turn 4.
Okay, goes for the Skull Ring.
All right. Says deal with it.
Yeah.
Puts on the shades.
I want to see Fantasy with shades.
I think he could rock them. I mean, he's got those big glasses anyway, right? You just get the ones that turn into sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transition lenses. Very nice.
That's right. CRUMSION says, I know.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to do.
I got it.
Yeah.
We've done this song and dance before.
Yeah. Not letting you walk away with a free Prince Catacomb here.
Show me a new tune, a new jig.
Now, experience also tells me that with a hand like CRUMSION has, he's in a rough spot. He's got an okay turn 5 into an Aisha, but that's not really what you want to be doing here.
Yeah, you're giving away one of your 2 opportunities to make something big happen. But on the side of Fantasy, right, there's a little card draw. There's a Demon Eater there, and that's pretty much it, unless you kind of Goblin Mage into an Andrialphus, I suppose.
It's true. Well, that was actually a really nice option to draw for CRUMSION here. I think Demon Eater was exactly what he wanted to see. I can't really see him using the Necro Assassin here.
Yeah. Demon Eater, I think, advances much more of your options. Oh!
Not bad. Not bad. Does he want to use his shadows this way? I think so. I think so. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Saves the Evolution Orb. Okay.
No, decides he wants the full board clear. No problem with it.
Nothing remains.
Again, we know in this matchup, the longer you keep the board clean and present your own board, the better off you are.
That's what he's starting to do. Goblin Mage. I think Fantasy really is looking for more. Oh.
That Goblin Mage. That new option in the deck is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to keep your options alive, right? Especially with games dragging on. Even the most aggressive lists are taking longer than aggressive lists of the past, so you need that card draw.
And I think it's something to actually get used to, guys. I mean, the deck's going to slow down a little bit as these new rotations happen. Of course, we're losing things like Albert and Bahamut and all these crazy things. The deck's going to slow down, and it's going to go more into an options type of thing, like how do you choose to play your cards? They're all going to have options, you know, attached to them, and you're going to have to find out the best ways to either synergize or to utilize your options every turn if you want to win games in the future. It's not going to be this easy. All right, turn 9, Albert comes down, win the game. Like, that's going away, guys. That's going away. So start thinking about now how to best utilize the cards that are not going to be rotating when new cards get slotted in. Like, how do I want to take these decks?
Yeah. Making good reads of how the meta is going to shift is sometimes I think we as a community have been better or worse at that at times.
Oh yeah. Sometimes we're awful at it. Sometimes we're right on the money. I feel like this season, as far as the metagame is concerned, we've been right on top of it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. All right, Fantasy. You're at play point 6. You've got the Prince, the freshest.
He is very fresh. Looks like he's going to go with the board flood option instead.
The bones embrace
He
me.
wants to gain value, avoid the 3 damage, and maintain defense on board. And continue to do so by using the Evolution Orb, the last Evolution Orb as well.
I like this play. I mean, this is basically just saying I don't want you to get really good Ektar value, and that's a very good play as CRUMSION has 3 of them in hand at the moment.
It's a lot of horsies.
Yeah. A lot of zombies and headless horsemen.
He has trouble with shadows right now.
He does, and this is not a good Ektar play. I mean, it's an okay value Ektar. Will gain you a shadow, will allow you to trade with something on board. Actually, you know what? It might be his only good play here, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, you were talking about CRUMSION's hand and how he's going to run into problems.
This is one of those problems. Not having early card draw means that his options are a little bit more limited going into this mid-game, and Ektar's being his only big 7 drops, it looks like he's just going to side skirt that altogether. He wants to build up those shadows.
Both gave each other a little poke.
That's right.
Okay.
And this goes to show you guys, it's not always about who draws more Ektars, right? Like, Fantasy hasn't even played one yet, doesn't have access to one, but he's been ahead this whole entire time.
Still tough decision making, and I think eventually Fantasy again is going to need to reach down into the card draw. He has Andrew Alphys on top of his cards, but the thing about Skeleton Prince, right, is the Andrew Alphys effect is only on the Prince itself.
That's right. That's right. Still good stuff, though. CRUMSION's still going to have to play the trade game here. I don't believe he can just allow for all of this to happen. Because even if Ektar's not in hand, you've got to respect it. You don't know.
And shine.
Ooh, the
Your
Catacombs
death
are big.
will be swift.
Aisha comes down, he's going to be able to double. No, only one swing, it's not enough shadows.
But I like the trade. It means that value trades are a little bit harder.
Ektar down now for Fantasy and drew into some fantastic options.
I think Prince Catacomb is a great option this turn. He can play that alongside of a Necro Assassin. Looks like he's just going to jump right into the Ektar.
He's got the shadows, which means he can full board clear and get 8 damage. We talked about how you take those opportunities, right, when you can.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with this play at all.
Okay. So there's one checkbox for Fantasy done. Now the question is, can he sustain himself in this environment against the counter Ektars?
I mean, it's going to do some work, but not as much work as CRUMSION would like.
Yeah. He leaves 3 damage on board here.
That's
No,
right.
4 because the skeleton pops out, right?
Yeah. Skeleton pops out if he wants to destroy the 3-1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is
And
rough.
he's going to have 9 play points. So you can actually maybe Demon Eater into an Ektar.
Yeah. Demon Eater's a fine play. Again, so is the Necro Assassin and the Prince Catacomb to just keep the board really sticky.
Ooh, nice.
I like it. Making Fantasy make more options. That was a pretty good draw. Doesn't necessarily need it just yet, but could use it if he wants to.
Oops, yeah, 1, yeah.
What are you hiding inside?
Okay, looks like it's the Prince Catacomb play. And this will allude to a Necro Assassin finish off the Ektar here.
You're breathing
There
too
it
loud.
is. Leaves the last word effects because he wants to make sure that even if you trade in, he keeps the option open for both the Aisha and the Ektar as being a game-winning thing.
That's right. So next turn, if he doesn't draw the Aisha, he still has a play. I mean, honestly speaking, he's got the board, right? But if he just Demon Eaters, he could Demon Eater right into an Ektar.
Oh no. Oh no. And then the Odile is going to end this now.
Actually, yeah, just Odile's enough already.
There it is, Fantasy, and now he's on what I would call his comfortable territory, right?
Yep.
Is the Vengeance Blood.
Yeah, he's up a game already. Only has to win one more game with Vengeance Blood. Seems pretty decent. Vengeance Blood seems like it could be very good against the Forestcraft decks, unless they can get to that 6+ play point territory, start with their Elf Queen chain and Aarons and things like that.
One of the things that I think we notice about Vengeance Blood, there's either that Spiderweb and Beerus thing that we talked about, or if it's landing Savage Wolves.
Yeah.
It really changes how the early game plays out.
It's crazy to me. So before there were so many options that that Vengeance Blood played on the 3-drop slot. We've seen everything from Grimnir to Devil of Vengeance to Succubus to there's so many cards that have been on the 3-drop slot for Vengeance Blood. And a lot of those options just gone now, and people just going for the Savage Wolf. Savage Wolf obviously very good. Blood Wolf being the old option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Bloodcraft games, regardless of what Bloodcraft deck it is, the games skew a lot more heavily in favor of Bloodcraft if they do have the Savage Wolf on turn 3. It's such a huge tempo push. It really begs you to think about how good Blood Wolf really was when it was legal. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable value.
Yeah. A lot of reach, especially at 2 play points. There were fantastic combos you could do very early.
Pull off of Dark Air Jammer, which Savage Wolf cannot be.
Man, and with the combination of things like Diabolic Drain, like Blood Wolf.
Let's not talk about Diabolic Drain, okay? That one's securely out of here. All right. No more of that.
Bad
card.
memories.
Yeah, bad memories.
Bad memories.
Bad memories. Actually, both of those cards, bad memories, Blood Wolf and Diabolic Drain, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to this game. This I feel like is a tough matchup for Forestcraft overall too, if Uriuses are drawn, or Uri, but Fantasy not drawing the Urius in this matchup, at least not as of yet.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he's going to play out these turns. Do you pure hearted to try to give yourself more options now, or is this the point where you want to start using your Spiderweb imps?
Right. Well, realistically, I feel like Vengeance Blood has a lot of just things it can do in the early game that it's not really worried about the Forestcraft player, and it really just has to play around things like Airbound Barrage if it can. Unfortunately, sometimes it's really hard to do because you can't really play around it, you know what I mean? But how these decks are going to play out, if Vengeance Blood is trying to end the game by like turn 6 or 7, of course the Forestcraft deck trying to get to turn 8, 9, 10 so that it can do its White Wolf into Elephant combos. But realistically, another way the Forestcraft deck can win this matchup is if it just draws enough Errands and Elf Queens to just kind of out-card advantage Fantasy to where he's left with things and Fantasy is not.
Yeah. Well, Elf Queen already in hand here for CRUMSION, which means that any kind of Shadow Generation is going to be fantastic. Insect Lord.
Doing the job. So wanted to replay the Insect Lord, I would imagine? No. Okay.
Interesting.
Saving it.
Okay. Hungering Horde is an interesting card to have in this matchup as well.
Yeah. Hungering Horde, a lot of people are like, why not Snarling Chains? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Because Hungering Horde can wipe out an entire board full of things against Shadowcraft, Forestcraft, you name it.
Yeah. When that Hungering Horde swings. Oh man. The sound is so loud. It just plays all of them over the top of each other.
Yeah. So it doesn't deal the 1 damage, doesn't get you closer to Vengeance, but it has far-reaching implications as far as what decks you're playing against. And right now, everybody playing Forestcraft and Shadowcraft, very good day for Hungering Horde.
Okay. Activated Vengeance and drew 2 cards. Dark Airjammer is an option. What is he likely to pull? He's already drawn 1 Urius and drawn a Spiderweb imp.
I think he's likely to pull any of them. I think they're all 3 ofs in the deck. Lyrial or Urius might be a 2 of, but with 1 drawn of each, pretty likely that any of them are redrawn again here.
Okay. CRUMSION really having to think, and I think this is important, right? Like, these early turns really make or break the Vengeance Blood matchup.
Now, in saying that, if by chance a Dark Airjammer pulls out 2 Urius, the game might just be over immediately. I mean, there are ways to deal with cards in hand with Airbound Barrage and Sylvan Justice in hand, but having to spend all those resources just to kill your opponent's smallest follower is pretty rough.
All right, on the board.
This is one way to do it, though. Wood of Brambles taking over the board. Fantasy putting himself at 10 here.
Give it to me again.
There it is. There's another Hungering Horde, but not quite going to be able to do that.
Oh, there's Baphomets as well.
Oh, boy.
Not the best pull here.
Yeah. He has an Evolution Orb. How does he want to spend?
Honestly speaking, I probably would have evolved the Baphomet because it's the only card on board that kind of just easily gets swept under the table.
Especially with the Brambles down.
I probably would have evolved the Baphomet into the 1/1 and kind of left the Lily alone. Because you still have to evolve over the Spiderweb Imp. The Lily can't attack it by itself. Or you have to attack with, both of your followers, something like that.
You also leave your Airjammer open to Airbound Barrage.
That's absolutely correct. Sometimes splitting your stats is where you need to be.
Spread the stats.
That's right, spread the stats just a little bit. Now Airbound Barrage and just a couple of attacks can take out this entire board here.
It won't be long now.
Okay, wow.
Don't
This
push yourself too hard.
Wood of Brambles, just overall today, has been so good.
Yeah.
Yep, get the free swing. The airbound. Oh, that's a big turn for CRUMSION.
Brambles value. Realistically, with Insect Board in hand anyway, this turn was going to go well for CRUMSION. And this is kind of where Vengeance Blood loses some of its luster. However, the Hungering Horde pulls him right back in.
Oof.
So imagine now, guys, if Snarling Chains was in the deck and not Hungering Horde, this game might have looked a lot different.
Yeah?
Hey, check this out.
Okay.
Powerless no more.
I'm gonna rest for a bit.
I like it. Not leaving anything with one defense. Learned his lesson last turn.
Yeah, he knows the Wood of Brambles is still there. Cassiopeia is a choice.
Cassiopeia
Again,
is the
already
best
has so many shadows that even if there was some kind of game plan pushed forward by Fantasy, the healing is so hurtful to a deck like this.
Absolutely. And Cassiopeia, if you guys didn't know, because she deals her damage immediately, any effect of a follower that would destroy Urius as they come into play means that you don't take any damage if that follower does come into play.
As long as Urius is gone.
That's right. Urius has to be gone. So I think Cassiopeia is the best play here. You don't take any damage, clear the board. Feels pretty good.
Because he could also Sylvan Justice and Insect Lord.
Yeah. More cards. Don't like.
Not great.
Not great.
Feel no good.
Oh, good lord.
Vengeance Blood. It's interesting. He didn't really get either of the options that we were looking for, right? Got a few Spiderweb imps, but didn't have anything big to hide it behind.
The Air Jammer pull was pretty low, unfortunately. He did not back it up with another Air Jammer play. Instead, wanted to get the Urius in play. And I think he's just a little too far behind now, especially with an Elf Queen already in hand from CRUMSION here.
And there's the Evolution Orb disadvantage. This is active. Emerald is pretty good, but
Emerald is still pretty good, but then you're just playing this late game like one-for-one trade with Forest Craft, which is not where you want to be. However, there's no other option for Fantasy at this point. He has to just start unloading these Emeralds because if turn 9 comes around, he might just lose.
yeah. Brambles down. How much is this? 2, 3. Yeah, Insect Lord will be able to take it.
Kidding. No.
Then Emerald down, possibly clear out the Insect Board or the Wood of Brambles. Can clear either or.
Interesting. Razor Claw.
This is my home.
Okay, there you go. There was a good one.
Yeah, take down that Insect Lord.
And I like this play. Fantasy also respecting the turn 8 White Wolf. Instead, he's going to find an Aaron now.
It's a good draw off the top for CRUMSION, but a lot of that damage is still going to be on the trade back, right? There's only a few swings you can make here.
It's true. White Wolf can clear out just the same as Aaron, but Aaron will heal and put up a ward.
And give you an Evolution Orb.
That's true. Cassiopeia can come down, deal 5. Not good enough.
You do need to think about this game in terms of you have Elf Queen as an option, right?
I mean, realistically, he could just play Elf Queen, but this is one of those boards where it doesn't really feel good. And it looks like he is playing into his Elf Queen plan here, saying, you know what, I just want to get my White Wolf down. You have no way to actually banish it or transform it, so let's go.
4 damage on the table. You can kind of avoid it, though. Oh, get rid of the Brambles.
Yep.
Yeah, this
That Bramble's
is very
actually being a
dangerous.
downside right now.
Yeah, this is actually really dangerous.
Yeah.
Just pushing damage. You know you have the Emeralda. If you don't take down the White Wolf, he has to wait another turn before he can actually pull the trigger. Oh no. Did this just turn on its head?
Fantasies are praying. We see a lot of our players are praying.
Okay, if he plays Aaron, he's going to heal 3, go up to 6, be able to take down the 4/5.
He's got to play the Elf Queen. He's got the Evolution Orb for it, too. He's
goes
got
up to 6, goes down to 5. Yeah, has to play the Elf Queen. That's the only way.
especially because he's going to draw into his combo next turn.
The
Yeah.
names will live on.
Actually, he doesn't even need the combo, honestly, at this point. Just needs cards in hand.
Yep, he's gonna have the double elephant
Come
here.
on!
And this is a back-breaking play.
Elf Queen.
Prey on my
Healing for
sword.
14. So much.
It's pretty good.
So much.
You can even barrage it if you want.
I don't even see a reason why not to. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
this presents lethal on board, so you don't have to play anything else.
This one's
But yeah,
for
preventing yourself from any damage. Honestly, there's no real way with 10 slay points to deal that much damage anyway.
Yep, and this is over. Couldn't end it on this turn, which means that the 0-drop elephant is going to be pulled here, alongside with something that doesn't matter. I'll swing with both. Make sure you swing with both.
Oh, come on!
Gives him a little ping.
Yeah, Fantasy made this game a lot closer than I think a lot of us thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Elf Queen, man. Elf Queen's so good. So imagine you only play one Elf Queen in your deck, you don't draw it there. You lose this game.
Yep.
Very important to have it.
Need to have. We've seen games, I mean, with DFC Lover where he had 2 Aishas and didn't draw them at 10.
Right,
So
exactly, exactly.
You do want to make sure you actually hit that option.
That's right. 40 card decks, right? You need some availability to your cards within the first, 10 to 12 turns,
Yeah.
Even with card draw, so.
Yeah. Fantasy and CRUMSION go 1-1, so this is the game that decides it all. Who will be falling to the loser's bracket? Who will be moving on? On the winner's side, it's going to be mid-shadow again. It comes up again
Time to get
against
started.
Vengeance Blood.
That's
Oh, no, I think Fantasy is reacting to mulligans here.
Ooh, not bad, though. He's on the play. He's got the Belphegor. He's got the 3-drop, and he does have a 2-drop. Not the best 2-drop in this matchup.
Going first.
Still something to do before a Belphegor, though, because, of course, Belphegor kind of wipes away the fact that you dealt any damage to yourself.
Yeah.
And he did get the Savage Wolf. I actually really like this draw from Fantasy. Oh, even better now.
Ooh.
Even better.
It's going to pull something.
Yeah.
Oh, nope. That's not really what you like.
Fantasy's Reef turning into a very consistent bobbing motion now.
Yeah. Somebody give him a clothes hanger.
He's getting his dance on.
Yeah. Somebody help the man.
Yeah, this draw is incredible, though. Savage Wolf into Belphegor, and he has the Dark General now and a Razory Claw. This is going exactly the way you'd want it to.
Okay. I guess before evolution turn, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Bad counterplay at all. This might prompt an Angel of the Wordplay, but I don't think so.
I want
Yeah.
Yep, just
It's like
instantly the
gold.
Belphegor. He knows what he wants. Oh, another Savage Wolf.
All going face.
Okay, already down to 14 is CRUMSION. He has a card to trade out against the Savage Wolf and the Baphomet very efficiently, and is spending the Evolve to take down the Belphegor. All very manageable. But Dark General is activated. You have another Savage Wolf. Hungering Horde as well. We talked about that in the Shadowcraft matchup a bit.
The important stuff is that he has a lot of cheap options to go to after this Belphegor. He's not stacked with Emeraldas and things like that he can't play and get use out of, so I really, really like this draw from Fantasy. Him being on the play in this game very specifically, very good for him with the draw that he had. The curve into Belphegor with plays after it, very nice.
Also has a Scarlet Sabrewer.
Yeah, just in case. Always a good fallback plan if you need to be a little defensive for a turn.
Yeah. On the side of CRUMSION, going to play point 5, there's not anything that's super clear. Soul Squasher too, I think it's not as valuable because most of the time the evolution orbs are only going to last a turn anyways, right? It's not like you get big defense off of evolving.
Give it to me.
That's right. So not the best way to clear out an entire board, but still manages to do it. I mean, Savage Wolf plus Razory Claw. You could start with Hungering Horde on the Lurching Corpse and then play a Savage Wolf in an Evo phase. More card draw instead is interesting to me. I don't think he needs more cards. I guess just providing the threat is what he's looking at.
First evolution orb being sunk, and that means CRUMSION is now going to be at 10. And as these play points get a little bit higher, Fantasy's reach gets a little bit better, right? You're already approaching the territory where you can Dark General, Razory Claw, and that's 9 damage.
Yeah, literally 9 damage out of hand right now. Unfortunately for Fantasy, his entire board just got cleared off, so he's going to have to stop for a second.
This does allow the opportunity to think about how you can put your Urias down.
I think this next turn is actually a really good setup turn for Angel of the Word and a Hungering Horde. Unfortunately, that will not allow you to play the Urias, but it will put you back with 2 threats in play.
Oh, that changes a lot. The fact that you just pulled that second Razor Claw.
Did he miscount here?
Hey, check this out.
Well, I think he's just looking to put his opponent as low as possible and just close it out, right?
And then Hungering Horde? Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay.
So if CRUMSION, if you evolve 4, 5, if you can find any, well, yeah, so you can't do that.
Yeah. Not having a Soul Squasher doesn't allow him to attack while also being able to deal with this.
Yeah, I think it's over. There's no healing. Where's the Saris at?
That's right. We're going to keep asking that question, guys. Where is the Saris at? But Fantasy is going to take this.
Mid Shadow certainly, I feel like, has some gaping weaknesses.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's just so slow, you know?
Good hand from Fantasy as well, and off the back of Vengeance Blood is going to be to close things out, the last Razor and Claw. Fantasy's just waiting and thinking.
I'm powerless.
Oh.
For now.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I was like, what? Wait a minute. Oh, he's doing it a fancy way. Okay. All right, Fantasy. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Fancy Fantasy over here.
Fantasy giving a little bit of a fist bump. He's super elated about that win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tough.
I mean,
it's tough.
These
He's
are tough games.
committed to the list.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to move through this bracket with what he has.
That was a fantastic game. I mean, that showcased that Vengeance Blood still belongs in the meta. You know what I mean? It's still good against Shadow, which everybody is bringing. It's okay against Forestcraft. I'm not really sure how that matchup really plays out overall. I know that we did talk about before that